What's up, everybody? Welcome back to. I am so sorry. There are geese outside. They're very loud. Welcome back to Matteo's Quarter. Um, I'm. I. You know what? I don't know what's left to say, guys. This is the last. I don't care how long it takes. This is the last episode of Vampire the Masquerade: Shadows of New York. I'm not making another episode. This has gone on for 20. What is this? 27? 27 episodes, I think. We're finishing the fight today. We're gonna we are gonna see what Julia says, and we're just gonna roll with it. So let's do it.
Actually, I do. Oh, she's doing it. She's doing it. It's like the beast itself flashed in Kadir's eye for a brief moment. Fuck off, Kadir. You don't get to say anything now. You said your piece, we're gonna say ours. You have yanked our chain. It is our time to yank all of you around. No, you don't. But I do. Miss Sawinski. Don't make a scene. Believe me, every one of you will really, really, really regret it if they don't listen to what I have to say. Will we now? Oh, absolutely. I stand up and step right in front of Kadir. Don't get me wrong. Kadir has done a spectacular job of selling you a ready-made narrative to package and export to the outside world. Hail to the sheriff and all that. But was this little show really necessary? Did you all really need to hype each other up to believe this fairy tale? What are you getting at, little girl? Easy now, my prince. Insult me all you want. It's only going to make it all the sweeter when this little girl kicks your ass. Hell yeah. Let's do this. Let's do it, Julia. Do it. I'm getting at the fact there's a different, more reasonable theory that explains everything. Everything to a T. That's great for you, sweetheart, but do I really need to stand here and listen to it? The door's right there. But on the off chance you get implicated in something tonight, don't you want the chance to defend yourself? And what are the chances of me being implicated in anything tonight? Oh, I'm pretty sure a lot of kindred in this room are asking themselves the same question right now. In each case, my answer is the same. You won't find out unless you stay right where you are. She stays. Well, yeah, she's not going to leave now. All right, where was I? Ah, let's assume that the cause of Boss Callahan's death really was suicide. Our man said, fuck everything, opened the window shutters, let the break of dawn take care of all his problems. And let's assume that he really meant to send a message using the portrait of Lord Castlereagh. Sounds dramatic, but sure, let's go with it. But it is commonly understood that Castlereagh was pushed into taking his own life as a result of a conspiracy against him. Needless to say, his biggest fan wouldn't miss that detail. According to historians, the man's last words imply that some powerful people faced him with a choice: denunciation or death, which, for an ambitious politician, is not a choice at all. So, you're claiming that Callahan left us a hint. It's a troubling hint, don't you think? Oh, ho, 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 ho. Yes, yes, squirm, you little bastards. We're finally getting you right where we want you. What are you? Enough. We're not dealing in conspiracy theories here. Of course you're not. I mean, a conspiracy theory backed by the elites is no longer called such. It's propaganda. Is there a point to this little show you're putting on, Miss Sawinski, other than digging yourself a deeper and deeper metaphorical hole? Oh, Mr. Arturo, you're still trying to tell yourself it's me who's in trouble and not you? That's adorable. Listen, you. No, you listen. He freezes in shock. Definitely not used to resistance. I don't blame you for peddling propaganda. You're politicians. That's what you do. I'm just laughing at you for coming up with shitty, poorly conceived propaganda. So, will someone stop her, or... Mr. Addison Payne. Oops. You're the architect behind the loyal Camaria's current speeches and political general narrative. Be honest. Does this shit show really meet your standards? Oh. Payne's thinking about it. He knows. Yeah, he knows this was pure bullshit, and he doesn't like it. We stare into each other's eyes, unblinking, slowly feeling each other out. Eventually, with a barely audible snigger, he whispers to his servant. Yeah, go Payne! You're awesome. Heck yeah, Payne's like, now fuck you guys. How do I put this? I'm always open to a better pitch. That's all I wanted to hear. All I'm asking for now is a little patience. That I can spare. Oh, for goodness sake, Addison, come on, man. You can't possibly... Silence. I said what I said. Now let her talk. Thank you. I'm starting to have fun with this. Oh, we're all having fun with this, Julia. Not just you. I'm greatly enjoying this. It is time to put everybody in their place. Everyone who has been treating us like garbage is going to be treated like garbage right now, and I love it. I'm starting to have fun with this. Or, more like, I'm feeling that weird rush, reminding me of the first time I managed to ride a bike. The important thing is to keep up the momentum. Focus on pedaling hard. Don't even think of falling. You had it all figured out, didn't you? An improperly handled murder scene. A disposable investigator forced to blindly stumble around, hopelessly chasing loose ends. Your only problem is that tonight I realized I was using the wrong tools all along. Instead of a sleuth's magnifying glass, I only needed a journalist's pen. Aha. Here we go. Bring it out. Get the book out. Get the book out, Julia. Come on. So I sat down tonight and wrote my first article in almost a year. 2 hours of ceaseless writing. Creative juices flowing the entire time. Everything miraculously falling into place. And frankly, I think it's my masterpiece. I get carried away and jump up on one of the benches. You do it, Julia. Take over the investigation right now. You want to hear the contents? I know you're all dying to hear the contents. So okay, let's hear the contents. Aisling Sturbridge, High Regent of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs, violently splitting with her student after he discovered her plans for horrific experiments with blood magic. Her target? Baron Callahan, said student, conveniently missing. We've got an exclusive source, too. Agathon the Warlock's personal diary. Extra, extra, read all about it. She's trying to hide that she's nervous, but she's practically shaking. I should be the one shaking. I'm piecing together what little solid or relatively solid intel I have, gluing it together into something coherent with educated assumptions and pure conjecture. But, at least I'm fairly sure she recognizes me as a threat now. Just what I was hoping for. Next up. Is it true that Torque, the brave Anarch Baron, primed to be the next de facto leader of the sect in NYC, might have been manipulating his entire faction to secure his position? This appeasement candidate convinced his key allies that the revolution is not an option at the moment, appearing as a reasonable alternative to his bloodthirsty rivals. His ace in the hole was a strangely efficient ability to establish diplomatic channels with the Camarilla, which he then used to gain a series of small concessions from the NYC court. Could it be that Prince Panhard, having realized that her longtime collaborator Baron Callahan was just an undesirable asset, found a different, more 2020 candidate to be the leader of the Anarchs? Extra, extra, read all about it. Oh, Panhard's pissed now. This one's not shaking, she's just angry. Well, to be fair, I'm sure she would be. She's being put in her place right now. Torque is silent. And this one just seems confused. Yeah, he's probably confused because he probably didn't realize that Panhard was eagerly doing it in that way, right? And what about the fact that Torque, Helen Panhard, Thomas Arturo, Carter Vanderweyden, and Aisling Sturbridge were all summoned to Callahan's office right before his death? Could it be that the so-called boss employed some final desperate measures to stop his downward spiral into irrelevance, at which point a rushed plan to bring on his demise was executed? Could it be that Kaiser, the legendary New York City info broker, striking deals left and right with both the Camarilla and the Anarchs, wiretapped Callahan's office to eavesdrop on those negotiations? Extra, extra, read all about it. You could cut the atmosphere here with a knife, and it's only getting worse. For them, at least, I feel better than I felt in years. And the fact nobody is protesting probably means I'm hitting the nail on the head. Well, yeah, I mean, again, it's obvious, right? Since we saw the wiretap thing, it's definitely a nail on the head, right? Could it be that for the entire 21st century, the conflict between the New York City Camarilla and the Anarchs was a sham? What if the Second Inquisition's operations in the city were consulted with the leaders of the two sects? How deep does the rot of corruption go? And what about Sophie Langley's disappearance? Attempts on the unlives of would-be members of a coterie she attempted to set up alongside her ward last year? Could all of these things be connected? And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Stay tuned, dear readers. Heavy silence befalls the room. When it becomes too overbearing, Kadir breaks it by hawking loudly, his poker face indecipherable. And where, pray tell, can one read all about it tomorrow? 10 different places. Among them, of course, a report received by Clan La Sombra's elders in Chicago. Constantly mixing truths with lies. I do know some facts. I did write something. But all in all, it's a confidence grift, plain and simple. Have you sent it out already? No. And Father Leonard's not the channel I used to reach Chicago, in case you were wondering. I took every possible precaution, the way you taught me. I know this hurts him, but I can't show a single weakness right now. Oh, this is ridiculous. She's probably bluffing. No. She knows, Thomas. Aisling, how can you be certain? I just am. Ha! Take that, you kiss-ass. What you gotta say now, huh? You and your pompous-ass words. That diary probably just saved my ass. Thank you, Agathon, I guess. Even if I was bluffing, it's all about the optics. You nominate a special investigator, then the moment she presents her findings, you do what? Subjugate her? Get rid of her? How do you get out of this? I get it. I get it. I really do. You gave me that role, that title, because you were counting on me remaining the same shitty, useless nobody I ever was, since I started working with the court. But funny how that works, isn't it? A week ago, nobody gave a shit about what I have to say. Now I'm a grave threat to this entire Illuminati New World Order arrangement you've got going on. I still maintain you can't possibly know and prove all the claims you've listed. There's just no way. I know. I checked. First off, stop bullshitting. You don't know that for sure. Secondly, even if you're right, so what? I've got leverage now. Because of my journalist past, you gave me a detective title that wasn't worth a rat's ass in doing detective work. But ironically, it gave me the opportunity to do the best reporting I've ever done. It's kind of funny when you think of it that way, you know? Like, they gave her this position on purpose, hoping she would fail because she wasn't really, they're like, oh, she's new, we can just throw it on her, she won't know what to do, she won't know where to look, nobody cares, but here she is, standing in front of them with all this evidence, and she's like, no, 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 the shoe's on the other foot now. I have all the cards. I have the winning hand in this poker game, and you all are trying to bluff me out of thinking I don't. Wow. And it doesn't even matter if it contains more facts than your official narrative. And you know why? Because the story I offer makes infinitely more sense, morally, emotionally, metaphysically, however you name it. It's a far hotter commodity than the low-rent bullshit you peddle. People nowadays buy into barely coherent crap like 5G and Kanon. Once they get a hold of my perfectly logical story and see you don't really have anything to counter it, you'll be fucked. Hell, the very fact none of you have denied any of my allegations yet speaks volumes, doesn't it? Got you there. The prince is absolutely furious that she's not in charge, visibly scrambling to figure out some counteroffensive. Why would anyone listen to you? You made that story of yours sound completely unrespectable, like a tabloid garbage. Tabloid would be fine. Just means it would reach more folks. Ha! She has a point. What? What do you want? Oh, now we're talking. A primogen position for Clan Lasombra and a number of privileges befitting the title. We can negotiate the details, but a nice apartment in downtown Manhattan's a must. Demanding big, are we? And what could you even bring to the fold as primogen? I turn away from her to speak to the manager. Mr. Payne? Yes. As you can see, we've all found ourselves in quite a mess here. Indeed, to say the least. If I find us a way out, will you form a professional relationship with me and back the decision to make me primogen? The figure in the wheelchair lets out a sarcastic laugh, sounding like the final wheeze of a dummy. He likes us, I can tell, right? He's totally like, I like this one. You got guts, kid. You put everyone in their place, and it's hilarious. You really are swinging for the fences, aren't you, child? I'm not suicidal. Most of the time, at least. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't have my sights set sky high. I understand. So, how do you propose we solve this little predicament? Easy. We give the masses an even better story than the one I just suggested. One that benefits nearly all the parties in this room. All right, then. Thanks to your moxie, you've secured yourself my tentative support, child. Let's hear it. Thank you very much. Okay, then. During my investigation, I recovered some interesting intel about a certain individual. Praise be to Kaiser's abandoned limousine. Said individual would definitely prefer his behind-the-scenes dealings to remain unknown. For the last 20 years, he's been an on and off mediator between the different parties in this city. He prides himself on his diplomatic skills.
Interestingly enough, though, one of his main motivations was selling intel about both the Camarilla and the Anarchs to any party that might be interested. Usually that meant Kaiser. With a reasonable degree of certainty, he can be held responsible for a few recent failed Camarilla operations that weakened Helen Panhard's position. He dreams of being a prince, you see.
I can already see him awkwardly shifting his weight.
Recently, he obtained control over an IT company called Double Spiral, which he uses to influence NYC Kine in ways that further his agendas and weaken his political enemies. He also operates the most powerful law firm in the city. He uses both of these tools so that he can manipulate the mortals to slowly tie a noose around Anarch leaders and court members who he wants gone. I'm talking, of course, about Carter Vanderweeden.
In a split second, all eyes in the room are set on him. People, whatever she throws at me, I'm sure I can explain. I throw a file I recovered from Kaiser's limo at the bench.
Are you sure? Because there's a hell of a lot to explain.
Oh boy, he got caught. Oh no! Addison's servant picks up the file so that his master can browse through it.
If that's not enough, I'm sure Double Spiral will be happy to deliver us more.
So all the things you said the other night were a steaming pile of bullshit, Carter? Addison, we're friends. There's a good explanation for every single thing that's listed there. I swear on my father's grave. Even if there is, I doubt you can justify allowing a girl who's little more than a fledgling ripping your credibility to shreds in a matter of seconds. You've proven yourself as something infinitely worse than a traitor, Carter. You're a weak traitor. Thomas, Helen! Don't you even dare speak to me, you bastard. That was the last element of my strategy. I hope they won't throw any curveballs my way, because from now on it's all pure improvisation. Just 2 minutes ago, I was the #1 enemy of everyone in this room. Now I'm their unexpected ally, revealing a common foe that some people in this room have wanted to nail since forever.
All I'm saying is we've got ourselves a perfect scapegoat to pin everything on. Shady dealings between both sects, all the real conspiracies he was involved in, impossibly perfect looks in history. The schadenfreude accompanying his fall will be enough to keep some kindred in the city happy for years.
He shoots me a demented look, one I assume is typically reserved for a future strangling victim. You can't do this to me!
And why's that?
You are incompetent. Wow.
That's the best you can do, seriously?
Kadir. Yes, my prince. Seize him. No. No, I beg you. Just no. Nope. You can come with me without struggle or in torpor. As usual, it's 3 strikes with me and then you're gone. No. No, 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 no. He talks a lot but puts up minimal resistance. Kadir drags him out of the room, and that's the last I ever see of him. For a good minute, everyone just stands there confused. Then Addison begins to clap. Addison's cool, dude. I like this guy. Bravo, Miss Sawinski. I haven't seen such an adventurous power play in years. Maybe our generation's not at all lost after all. Dude. Good job, Julia. Oh my god, you pulled a rabbit out of your hat and it wowed the entire crowd. It's a good thing she looked in that limo, though, right? If she didn't look in the limo, she wouldn't have been able to get that info, because that was her ace in the hole, for sure.
Does that mean I can count on your support?
Of course. As far as I'm concerned, you're the kind of ruthless primogen the city needs. Especially now, when one seat will probably be made vacant.
So, what do you say, my prince?
Panhard recoils a little when she hears me refer to her in such an official manner. Oh, right, because before she didn't even do that. My relationship with Addison is a decades-long conflict, and by now I know which hills I'm willing to die on. This is not one of them. Rejoice, girl. You're going to get what you want, as well as deserve. We do have one important condition, though. Of course you do. Mr. Payne, as I'm sure you'll agree, being primogen is an important representative position. It demands nothing but a display of impeccable respect for the Masquerade and the traditions. Of course. It is my concern that it wouldn't be proper for us to be represented by someone who openly violated the rules of kindred society. But of course, that wouldn't do at all. They'd have to openly renounce their old ways at the very least. Indeed. And I think that in the case of Miss Sawinski, who has lived with a mortal under a single roof for a long time, the best course of action would be to renounce her and give her up to our sheriff. That kind of gesture would prove the new primogen's dedication to the court beyond any reasonable doubt. Yes, I definitely agree. Her ambition and pride are admirable, but it would be prudent of us to demand a display of humility as well. Sadistic fucks. My thoughts exactly. Well then, your answer, miss? What's so funny, Miss Sawinski? I see it in your eyes, Arturo, you naive fool. You think you're so goddamn clever? You think I would have gotten this far if I didn't think it all through? Oh, she's thinking about Dakota. There's only one response.
I agree. Do what you must.
He's speechless. Well, yeah, I mean, he was like, oh, well, she's never going to say no because she's been living with that human girl, but now that things have changed, he's like, oh, shit, what do I get her on now? I can't, actually, I don't have anything to pin on her. He thought he had me pinned, and I simply responded with a checkmate. Guess that solves our problem, then. Let's head out for now. It's been an exhausting evening, and dawn is nearing. Yes, let's just do that. He walks Payne out looking unstrung and defeated. Oh, wow, she went missing. Oh, wow. Huh. Interesting. Soon after, Kadir ordered to take care of Dakota. He asked me if I wanted to know what was done to her. My reply was honest. Not really interested, no. He said that I'd gotten myself into a terrible game, the rules of which defied comprehension. I replied that if I'm winning and climbing upward, I must be doing something right. Still, we don't talk too much these days beyond professional interactions. I have a much bigger world to think about now, one that fills me with happiness. Come to think of it, my current state reminds me of those few halcyon days right after my embrace. It might not last, but at this point I have to ask myself, what does? It's always about the next bigger rush. I just realized she's smoking a cigar now. She's went up in the world. I'm writing speeches and official communications for the NYC Camarilla these days. Helping out Payne from time to time, too. Funny, I've never felt more accomplished, more fulfilled as a journalist than I am now. Karen is visiting in a few days to to congratulate me on behalf of the entire Chicago-based clan. Apparently, I've not only met her expectations, but exceeded them. She keeps bragging to everyone about how great her eye was in picking me. It's like she knew, right? It's only these shadows that keep getting to me. I notice them everywhere these nights, but there are more and more of them surrounding me as time goes on. But it doesn't matter. I like to think they're being cast because my future looks so bright. Oh, I got the good ending! That's the good ending! We did it! We beat it! Oh my god! After so long, after so many literal, like, 2 years I've been playing this? Pretty much 2 years, almost 2. We finally beat Vampire the Masquerade Shadows of New York. We finally did it, everybody. I think that deserves a round of applause, right? We did it. We beat the game. You know, I really enjoyed this game. I actually really enjoyed the story. I liked the whodunit angle. I really liked all the different angles that they tried to, like, you know, twist it, and all the different characters were interesting, and oh man, wow, that's just, what a good game, man. I actually really love one of the pets' names is Batman. That's awesome. Well, everybody, thank you for playing. No, thank you guys, whoever, this team, thank you for making this game. I had a lot of fun. It was my first ever real jump into Vampire the Masquerade. I had a lot of fun. I had a great time, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. That being said, we are done. Thank you all so much for joining me on this journey. Again, I cannot stress enough, this was one of the longest things I've had to do on this channel because I was only allowed to record at certain times in certain conditions and everything, and then I'm so glad to get this game done. And I hope you all have a good one. I'll see you guys next time for the next big thing that we're going to play. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.